So you want to start making pizza from home. I'm going to be showing you some of the basic, but probably the most important things that you will need to get started. All right, so since you're going to be cooking in your home oven, let's talk stone. This is a ceramic stone. You can find some of these on Amazon for a really good price. But what I like is a baking steel. Exactly what it is. It is a steel. It is heavy, but this will go in your oven, preheat it the same that you would preheat this for 1 hour. Let's talk flour. Now we have a couple options of flour that we can use. This is a bread flour, super common in any big chain store. This is a 00 pizza flour or fine milled flour. So let's talk yeast. This is an instant dry yeast. Again, this is yeast that you can find at any big chain stores. There's instant and then there is an active dry yeast. Active dry yeast basically means that you have to activate it before you put it and mix it in anything. With an instant, you can put it into your flour and you don't need to do any activation. So I like to use an instant dry yeast. But again, if you're making pizza from home, let's keep it simple. Let's go with an instant dry yeast. Let's talk scales. This here is a small jewelry scale. As you can tell, it goes all the way to the tenths of a measurement or the hundredths of a measurement, point hundreds. So this is a good scale to use for a small amount of yeast. You also then have another scale. This could also be used as well for bigger batches. You have this type of scale. These are perfect for doing room temp fermentations when you have your dough ball divided. These are perfect. I get these whenever we go to restaurants and do takeout. Save these, wash them. Definitely lifesavers. Another thing that I think is important to have if you're starting your pizza journey and making pizza from home is some sort of a journal. This will make sure that you're able to keep all of your recipes that you've tried, all your errors. Keep that. It helps you stay consistent, learn from your mistakes. And again, this is a good investment to have. Want to go for a wooden pill? You can find some least expensive wooden pills on Amazon, any local restaurant supply stores. But again, you could build your pizza on here and place that directly into your oven. Perfect for starting off at your home pizza journey. Now let's talk the most important thing that you need is your oven. Again, since you're making pizza from home, you're going to have either a gas or an electric oven. Doesn't matter which one you have. The most important thing you want to do is cranking that up all the way to the highest temperature and letting it preheat for at least 1 hour with either stone that you have in there 1 hour before you start making your pizza to make sure that your stone is properly heated all the way up and you're ready to make pizza. So now that you have everything you need, follow for part 2 and let's make some dough. Now that you've gotten the essential items to make pizza, let's take a look at this pizza dough recipe. So this is the dough recipe that we're going to be following. It's a 24-hour dough recipe for 4 pizzas at 260-gram dough balls, or if you wanted to go bigger or smaller, then that's just going to be up to you to figure out how big of a dough ball that you want. 260-gram dough balls will give us a good 12-inch pizza. It's 697 grams total of flour, but being that I like to do a longer fermentation, I need a strong flour, so I'm broken it down here. I'm going to be using 497 grams of 00 flour, 124 grams of bread flour, or you can use all-purpose flour, 404 grams of water, and this is just straight out of the refrigerator, 12.42 grams of salt, 1.86 grams of yeast, 5 grams of olive oil. This is a total 24-hour dough recipe, so 18 hours cold fermentation, big bulk in the refrigerator, and 6 hours at room temp. Now that you've mastered the dough, follow part 3 to prep your toppings. So your dough is now proofing and you're getting ready to start making pizza. Let's talk about topping. This is one of my favorite tomatoes that I like to get. This is the Bianco di Napoli. Of course, it may not be available to you wherever you're located. So get whatever you can. Again, this is crushed, so just straight out of the can, you could go straight onto a pizza. You could add a little bit of salt, a little bit of basil to whatever your preference. But again, crushed tomatoes is going to be the best way to go. Now we have two different cheeses here. We have mozzarella shredded and mozzarella that comes in a block. This is sliced, 26 slices. I prefer using this one. It melts better and tastes a lot better. You can use a shredded cheese, but again, the way it melts, it does tend to burn and get a little brown in the oven. You could also just do a shredded. You could shred your own cheese, whatever works for you. But I prefer getting cheese like this that comes in a block where you cut it yourself versus getting cheese that's already shredded. Or you could go with some basil. Again, this is perfect for margarita pizza. It makes the pizza fresh. You got some basil here. Everyone loves some pepperonis. Get yourself some pepperonis. You could add it with about anything and it just tastes fine. Again, this is your pizza. Go crazy. Add whatever toppings you want. Get yourself a good olive oil. You could put this before or after on your pizza. Perfect for a margarita pizza. Can be found basically at any store nowadays. Now that you have your toppings, follow for part 4 and let's get to stretching. All right, so it's been 6 hours later. You have your prepping top. Let's get to stretching dough. All right, so now what you want to do is make sure that you place enough semolina or flour on your dough ball. Place it onto your working area and about 3 fingers or 4 fingers in a V shape. You want to push the air from the bottom to the top of the crust, leaving about 1 inch or so, forming that crust, flipping it over, and again, pushing the air from the bottom to the top of that crust. Now at this point, you want to go ahead and flip and rotate, pushing the air from the bottom to that crust area, and then you'll flip it one last time, again pushing the air from the bottom to the top, forming that nice crust, making it nice and round. At this point, you could go ahead and scrape all of your semolina or flour to the side, and with your dough ball, this is the top of the dough. What you're going to be doing now is you're going to be underneath the dough with your hands like this, and you're keeping one hand stationary, whichever hand feels comfortable with you, and you're pulling and stretching with your other hand. So basically, it's stretch, pull, and then you're working your way around the dough. So stretch, pull, and it will go something like this. And you want to stay away from the middle. The middle will tear easy, so you just want to be staying closer to the crust area that you built. And again, one hand there, pulling with the other hand, pulling it. And as you're going around in the circle, you're building your circle and you're making it bigger and bigger. And you continue stretching it, stretching it. And you can see that it's getting bigger. You can move down just a little bit more. You want to move all your semolina, and at this point you have a pretty big dough ball. You could get your pill here with a little bit of semolina on your board, and again you're keeping this round circle. You're putting your circle down. Now that you have your dough stretched, let's get to making pizza. Follow for part 5. Now that you got your dough stretched, it's time to get to topping. Let's get to topping this pizza. So we always go down with our sauce first, right in the middle, and then you spread it around evenly all the way around to the crust. Because we're going to be making a margarita pizza, I like to put my basil down after the sauce. Let me know, what do you place your basil, first or last? Then a heavy drizzle of some good olive oil, then a handful of your mozzarella cheese, spread it around pretty evenly as well. And then because we're placing it in the oven, I like to put a drizzle of olive oil around the crust area, straight into the oven for about 8 minutes. Halfway through the cook, we'll go ahead and give a nice spin of it to get that crust nice and cooked. And just like that, you see that nice bubbly cheese. It's ready to come out onto a cooling rack for about 30 seconds to a minute, and just listen to this crisp. We've made this pizza. If you follow this whole series, give me a tag. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'd love to see your guys' creations as well. Again, if you have any questions, reach out to me. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and eat this pizza.